Hello everyone, welcome back to Shadowtoys Photography. Today, we thought we stopped Judgment Day, but we were wrong. Judgment Day is inevitable. Hello, well, let's get into it. So, we're going to be looking at a lot of my new 1/12 scale cloth goods Terminator custom figures. Now, some of these, as you can see, aren't really customs, but in honor of the franchise staying alive and the show coming back, well, I should say being created on Netflix, the Terminator show, animation, I should say, or anime. I don't know which one you want to call it. It's an animation, but oh man, I'm excited for it. As the time this video is being recorded, the show hasn't really aired yet, but it comes out next week. So this is kind of like a timeline in the past, but that's the future kind of thing. So it all works. It all works with the theme here of time travel. Anyways, so here are some Mafex Terminators that I got a pair of, kind of at the same time. But I really want to army build these, but they're just so darn expensive. I mean, they're gonna cost you to basically $100 per figure, you know what I mean? So even if you get them import, you can maybe get them together for like 160 maybe to 190 shipped together. But yeah, they're basically $100 figures. A lot of them have some QC. Thank you, knock on wood, I did not have any QC issues with these. They came out all right, but I am treating them extra careful and gentle because I know they may have some issues. But yeah, oh man, they gave him 2 guns. One of these comes with both rifles, or you could just give him one. And yeah, they're really posable. I mean, I don't really want this to be a Mafex Terminator review because you've seen a bunch of those. But yeah, it gets great. I mean, he gets great range. I mean, that's just the head. And even the midsection, because we're all used to the old school style and Kenner back in the day, and then the NECA ones. But you really get like a great bend out of him. I mean, it's just really unbelievable. And the legs are a lot movable too, you know what I mean? So it's just really upgrade from NECA. I mean, I do have all the NECA ones. I'm not going to do any comparisons to them in this video, only because they're not really 1/12 scale, you know, they're kind of 1/10 scale-ish, you know, they're in like the 7-inch scale range, so it doesn't really count, I should say. Here, let me bring out the next Terminator. Next Mafex is the one from the first movie. He's all messed up. But yeah, I am, so, you know, with the NECA ones, it's just, they're limited articulation. These are double jointed. They get you way more articulation, way better. Here, let's grab his guns. You know, I was just getting so frustrated with the NECA on how you couldn't really aim, not necessarily this gun nice and straight, but the shotgun, what is this, a Spaz 12, I think. Here, let me put him down and get this in here correctly, carefully, because it is Mafex. They are prone to have issues. Haven't had any issues with these, but yeah, whoops, as they fall over and topple and mess everything up. And let me put them to the side because those guns are going to catch on a lot of stuff. So yeah, I mean, I know this is a little different. I know he had this head during the police scene. So here, let me switch that up. Oh yeah, that's excellent. Now I know this isn't cloth goods yet, but it's just in the scale of, and if you've seen my Terminator 3.0 Dark Fate review, you know, those are the 1/12 scale Terminator cloth goods figures, the first of their kind, the only ones out there. I mean, there is another kind of third party, I think it was called Giant Toy. I forgot their name, but I do have that figure. I'm going to be bringing that out. But kind of started all this for me was those 3.0 figures. I'm getting tongue tied. But yeah, and it's just kicked all this off. And then Mafex right behind them came out with these. I'm like, oh man, they should scale perfect because they're Mafex. So we're gonna, or Mafex, depending on how you like to pronounce it. But I say Mafex. But yeah, I mean, these they're beautiful. They're gorgeous. I mean, they're just perfect. I have no complaints about these. I didn't get them all, I'm missing the other T2 versions, but let's get into some of the 3.0. Well, actually, let's get into some of the customs. That's what you're here for. Let's get into some of the customs. Here's one I made. Now, again, they're going to scale with like, they are 1/12 scale, but they're smaller 1/12 scale, like import 1/12 scale, Figure Arts, other third party, you know what I mean, kind of scale. They'll go with some Marvel Legends, maybe some Mattel or something in here, but here's a custom on a Fison body. He's just carrying a thing. I just gave him like a GPS slot, hoodie there, or jacket, and then the Mezco Hawk P40 pants, and it's like third party shoes. I believe they came in the jumpsuit of the, I think it was Noda too. Yeah, the jumpsuit of the Squid Games, the green, like just generic jumpsuit. You could use it for like anybody really with just a green jogging jumpsuit, but you can use it for Squid Games too. But I was just like, oh, the shoes, because these all came barefoot, which I like for other figures, because do you remember back in the day, and he can hold guns. He doesn't have guns in that hand, but he can hold actually I have his weapons on him. But do you remember back in the day, the Terminator Kenner line, the old school ones? See, the skin tones don't really match. That's why I kind of keep him zipped up there. But you remember the Kenner line? Of course you do. You remember the biofill thing? I love that thing. I still have it. Obviously, I don't have any more biofill. But, and then I have his handgun down here, back here. But that was like my favorite toy as a kid. Like, I loved playing that thing and making like Arnold's, and then like peeling the skin off as they get blown apart. I always had only allowed to play that game in the kitchen, use that toy device here. Too much hand in there. Let me get more on the screen here. But still fun. I don't blame my parents for that. But yeah, not bad. And you can do the, oops, I don't want him to do the gangster thing. There you go. Can you do the Terminator? There it is. But yeah, so that biofill was just my favorite. And with these like Fison male bodies and the Arnold head, it's giving me that. I'm going to show an example in a minute. I just wanted to get, and let's say he's run out of that, and then he's switching to the Uzi. The hands don't really match either, but that's okay. You can turn his head and yeah. See, it's just like generic, because now that it's they screwed up the timelines and everything like that. I'll keep that in his hands. Now that they screwed up the timelines, you can kind of do whatever you want with Terminator. I like how in the new anime, it's not like all Arnolds, it's all like different people, like the comic books. You know, I hope they're gonna go and stay on comic. And because they just use like generic men and women, or I should say male, female bodies, you know, and just faces or whatever, kind of like the X or the TX, was it, in the third one? So let me get this third one in here, the kind of refugee. But this is on the body I was talking about. But yeah, so in the comic, I really dug that they sent a whole bunch. I think it was RoboCop versus Terminator, actually. And they sent a whole bunch back to fight him, a bunch of men and women, and they're like naked in the street after they just got zapped there. So that's what this is kind of all giving me, and I'm just so far. I'm just really hope it's good. But anyway, I got him in the kind of you know, like trying to get into the refugee camp. He's like, oh, it's a Terminator. But so you can see underneath there, it's kind of he doesn't have any parts, but he does have butt cheeks, just like in the movie, which is pretty good. And this is another third-party head sculpt, which the skin tones match a lot better, a lot closer. And I love this. But I just kind of put this together. And I think you've seen this Fison before in like my subscriber celebration videos. And I've kind of bought him out randomly during some comparisons. A little dusty in there, but yeah, as you can see, so it's giving me that biofill thing, because it feels just like it, you know. It's all rubbery and movable. It's cool. I like it. You know what I mean? And I like that I have a NECA Terminator. I know it's kind of weird to want a NECA Terminator, but I mean, that's how they always start. You know what I mean? They always go through time and stuff like that. And and the biofill, they were naked, and then you could give them guns and stuff like that, just like back in the day. So I just wanted to capture that again. And yeah, here we are. So I'm enjoying this very much so. I gave him like Roblox gun he can use if you want to get that. Squeezing his hand there. And then pop that on there. Yeah, I have no idea what direction I'm going in with these Terminator figures. I'm just happy I have these, but yeah, that looks pretty cool. They kind of use a if you know Warhammer, they use the Terminators in Warhammer, which is kind of funny. They use the correct gun that the Terminator used in the first movie, you know, when the Kyle Reese flashback scene when it breaks into the refugee underground. It's a Gatling gun. It's a it's a mini gun, but this is like one solid tube and it has like one hole at the bottom underneath. So I don't have any of those Terminators yet, but I'm definitely gonna get one and see if it works for Arnold Terminator. But yeah, that's the more accurate one. But I feel like this works. It's big. It's kind of semi-futuristic. You know, it doesn't need a drum bell, ammo drum or whatever case you want to do. And you bust in. Or, which I'm excited for, I got the Mafex Terminators for. Whoops, don't fall over. Oh, stuff's falling over. Hang on. Okay. This gun, the futuristic gun, so just in case he's in the remember he's ordering in the first movie, he's like, what does he say? Plasma cannon rifle. Yeah, we only got what we see here, buddy. Yeah, that looks cool too. I think I like that a little better. I don't know. You tell me. Gatling gun, minigun, or a T-800 gun. I feel like, I don't know. I'm feeling this a little bit more. You tell me. I'll leave them empty-handed so it doesn't sway the vote either way. But definitely I want to know what you think. I like both. I do like both. I think I have that lean. I don't know. And then Roadblock can get his gun back. I don't know. But here, so he's on flat feet. Remember, he's not wearing boots or shoes. So he's kind of going to be... Let me get his legs straight here if I can see what I'm doing. There we go. And then... Let's get... Oh, yeah, it's about, like... That was inside. A little small. I mean, the feet, let's put them... And I may have to hold him, because the Fison, he doesn't really stand too well on his own, but... Yeah, so... The endoskeleton's a little bit taller, but I mean, it works. It's so close. It works. I'm not mad at it. All right, let's put him in there. Let's get him in the middle here. And let's do a few more, actually. And these are kind of ones you've seen, so we're going to go quickly through these. Not really articulation or anything like that. There's this Sarah Connor from Dark Fate that I was talking about. And I gave her a lot of custom weaponry. I looked up all the guns they used in the movie. I mean, I recognized them, but I want to get the exact ones. Forgive me, I don't remember all the names. It's like in the M4 family. And you can tell by the middle, the main part there that shoots. And, you know, it's kind of got a extended barrel. I think I got this from, is it Crazy Figure? The sniper, you know, it's like a similar body, similar style to this, and she's got like the real blonde hair, kind of looks like a not Scarlet Witch, I want to say Scarlett Johansson, like Black Widow. That figure, you know what I'm talking, was it Crazy Figure or DID Figures? I think it was Crazy Figure. No, was it not Crazy Figure? No, it was Coup Model, not cool. It was Coup Model, like Cartman, like that's Coup, you know, COO Model. That was it, Coup Model. That's it, Coup Model. But yeah, that worked. I got her shotgun. Maybe I'll show this on the Instagram. Shadowtoys photography. You know, all of the custom weapons. Here's the T-800 Carl. He's the Carl, the older Carl. I gave him, I think this is an MG20, I think. Don't kill me in the comments, but I remembered it, and then I totally blanked. I forgot to double check the exact numerical or numeral designation for this machine gun, heavy machine gun. You know, I mean, it takes, you know, a Terminator will be able to one-hand it, but not like really a real human. I mean, it's kind of like in the Rambo family, you know, it's similar to what Rambo used, just a little more modern, compact, updated, like the Saw. You know, I think that's the family close to it. And this is a custom Jobbers gun, I believe. I don't know where he got that sculpt originally, if it's original design to him or just a jobber now. I think he's just a jobber. You've seen me, I have a lot of, you want more information on him, I have custom, a playlist of all his custom work, so check him out. I did paint this myself, however. That's all me. I painted this. Just a jobber did not paint this. I painted this one. And, yeah, I like the way it came out. I mean, you could hold it, pose it, you could do the one hand. Whoops. One-hand Terminator thing. So, yeah. Oh, and the glasses, sunglasses, are from Mezcotoyz Blade, the first release. Perfect fit. Perfect fit. I know he didn't use them in the movie. I was so disappointed. Oh, man. I like Dark Fate. Let me tell you. Let me get a little bit of story of the Terminator. If you're not too familiar, let me go through the Terminator movie. So you got Terminator 1. Obviously, they send the original back in time to kill Sarah Connor. And they send Kyle Reese, excuse me, to protect her, right? And then they make love, make John Connor, and then he gets killed by the Terminator, right? And then it's her and John in the second movie, and then the T-1000, and then the T-800 reprogram saves him, right? I have one more custom out. We'll get into all it. So just the whole point of the movie, and then the last custom. So then you saw that movie, Terminator 2, great movie. I mean, Terminator 1 was great. Terminator 2 is even better. So then they stopped Judgment Day, you know, or they thought. And then Terminator 3, John Connor's older. You meet his wife, Catherine Brewster. And, yeah, she sends the Terminator back in time. And if any of you played the Terminator game from that movie, the T3 game, if you remember that game, oh, man, that game was so good. I remember it being ridiculously good, like better than it should have been. You know what I mean? It was like, it was first person, and then it would switch to third person. I think I had an online mode or something like that, like a versus battle. I'm a little vague. I may be confusing it with another game, but I remember it being just crazy good. And you getting like more of the story of that movie, like Catherine Brewster is like telling you, like she's in your head with her programming, like when you're driving up to the vet office, and she's like in your head, like, oh, you know, you got to get there. Remember, John's locked in the cage in the back, and you'll find me, and da-da-da. I thought that was so cool. Nice extra in there. And then, so yeah, they have the TX, and then they can't stop Judgment Day. It's inevitable. And then they go, and he hides with Catherine Brewster, right? And he tells him that, oh, how did you get me? He's like, I killed you when you're an older man, because he said they had kids, right? Your kids are important. Him and Catherine Brewster's kids become something and do something important. They never ever get back to that. But so, you know, they have kids. So obviously the T-800 from Terminator 3 gets John Connor as an old man, right? So they already had their kids. It's kind of irrelevant at that point, just, you know, taking them out to take them out. But that just means that the war didn't end after, you know, because in the first Terminator movie, though, like the war was over, they won, you know, and the Terminator's, Skynet's last ditch effort to win and erase John Connor. And we'll get back to that, because that's important. I don't really mean this to be a movie review, but it's important. I just really I caught the wife up on all 6 movies, and I watched them all in a row to catch up, to be ready for the animation. So I'm just going through the whole movie, and she told me I explain movies well, so I'm kind of doing that right now. So where were we? Terminator 3. So he said, I got you as an old man. You know, your kids are important. So it was kind of irrelevant at that point. But he gets him as an old man, right? He gets John Connor no matter what. But that says, if there's T-800s running around killing people after the war ended, because I thought it ended in the first movie. So obviously there's more story to tell. After you think Skynet's gone, I think they should make a movie, and I'm going to get to the rest of the movies, where it's after the war. Let's just get to the future already. No more time travel. Let's get to the future where the war is over, and like you don't really need a John Connor. Just get random characters anymore. You don't need the new woman either. I forgot her name, and I just literally just saw the movie because they were just they were just all over the place with that, and there was just a lot going on. I remember Grace and Sarah Connor and all that, but she was just like the target, you know. She's kind of the damsel in distress. I mean, she does some stuff and steps up. Oh my gosh, you're like screaming at me. But anyways, so that if he gets John as an old man, that to me tells me not all Terminators were deactivated, right? Some of them are still running around following Skynet's orders, but they're also learning, like this, like Carl when we get to that movie, and he becomes like, grows a conscience almost, you know. He's a learning machine. He becomes more human, and they end up getting empathy and sympathy and things like that. And so as it goes on, then what's after Terminator 3? Terminator 4, you get to John, you know, okay, they're not really in charge yet, but Catherine Brewster's pregnant, and you don't know if that's his first or second kid. And then the whole Marcus thing was really, it was cool, but it was like the ending was just terrible with giving John Connor his heart. They should have gave it to the pilot. I forgot her name too. Forgive me. I forgot a lot of names. I just binged all this again. And some of these I've only seen a handful of times. Not like Terminator 1 and 2, where I've seen a lot. But like the later ones, I've only seen a handful. So forgive me if I'm forgetting a lot of the names. But you know what I'm talking about. He saves the pilot, and they're like into each other, whatever. It should have been her who got hurt, and he gave his heart to her to kind of show that, you know, the Terminators can kind of foreshadow that some of them are going to be for humanity and some aren't. Kind of just lay the groundwork for this future show I'm kind of talking about. So then we get to Terminator 4, and that's that. And then Terminator 5 Genesis, which screws everything up. So then Skynet just starts sending Terminators all through time, I guess, and they try and get Sarah Connor as a kid. And that would have been, I think, a better movie than what we did get, you know, and start from there. But we got Emilia Clarke. I thought she did a great job as Sarah Connor. Great shoes to fill. I mean, Lena Headey also played Sarah Connor besides Linda Hamilton, but that's in the Sarah Connor Chronicles, which is a good show. We don't really need to talk about that, but I mean, it was good. It showed John growing up from like after Terminator 2, but before he becomes an adult. He's like doing his high school years, and they send like he's like has a crush on a girl in the class, and it turns out to be like a younger female Terminator sent to kill him, or she's actually there to protect him from other T-800s and all kinds of stuff. And then John gets sent to the future as a kid, and that's where the show ends, and then they canceled it. So, but Lena Headey, I mean, Cersei, she did a crazy good job as Sarah Connor. So going back to Genesis, so I have to kind of, they wrote Genesis so crazy, and then Tim Miller and Dark Fate didn't. It's like they missed a lot of sentences that they could have added, which I'm about to give you, to fill in the gaps, just fill in the writing holes that they just, I don't know why they didn't do. So Genesis, so then Kyle comes, and they're also facing a T-1000 then, and they destroy it in the past, and then again John Connor, Skynet. So you see the end of the war, and Kyle gets sent through, and then Skynet, who is Damien Targaryen actually right now, what's his name, Matt Smith, plays Skynet, and he's like the last Skynet. Let me put a pause in that. If you go back to Terminator Salvation, when Kyle Reese as a kid is in the detention center, when they focus out, it kind of freaks me out, and it freaked me out, and I've never noticed this. You notice in the buildings in the window, there are 4 shadowy figures looking down on all of them. Like, who are they? Are they robots? Obviously. Is that Skynet? Is there like a Skynet council? What was that? It was definitely a throwback to the Black Sabbath Ozzy Osbourne video for War Pigs. Definitely, that was definitely a tribute to that. It's very subtle, but you put that in there, I want to see that explored. So then Matt Smith plays like a robot version of Skynet, who's just like, it's kind of like an Ultron in Avengers. You know how they cut him off from the internet, and he's only in his like robot drone body. So it's kind of like a Skynet drone, or was it? I don't really know, but he like kills everybody in the future, and then he turns John into a new Terminator and sends him back to the middle future to work with Danny from Terminator 2, Danny Dyson, Miles Dyson's son, and they would work together because Danny would remember John from the second movie, who like was like, hey, show me your room and stuff like that. So he's probably like, as an adult, like, I see where they wrote that there, and they should have, you could have like give that more substance, you know what I mean? They like so missed the mark. Anyway, so it's like, oh, you got to kind of put that together yourself. And I hate that, not that movies need to spell everything out, but you need to just do it in a sentence or connection, a little bit more than somehow Palpatine returned. That was that's a terrible example of that. But you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of filling in the gaps now. So John's the new Terminator, and then again the T-800 and Sarah and Kyle kill him, and that's how the movie ends. So it's like, so John Connor dies. They established that. So it's just, they kept just like rewinding it. So he dies as an old man, now he dies as middle-aged, and then we're about to get to Dark Fate. But before you do that, so we assume Genesis ends, so then Kyle and Sarah conceive John, and then what? The T-800 turns on them because they know he turns bad or tries to kill John. So then they die. So Kyle dies killing that T-800, and then Sarah raises John into Terminator 2, which we see. And then Dark Fate starts. So then Terminator 2 ends, and the same way it ends, right? And then now we get to Dark Fate, where it opens. And so Skynet just buckshots Terminator. Sarah Connor says Skynet sent several Terminators back to kill John. So that was crazy. I wish they would have explored that. So then they send this guy to kill him. Now this is the custom, what was it? Giant Toy, or I forget what company. They didn't last long. I guess they lost the license for Terminators, but I wanted to make a younger Carl, and this is my custom younger Carl. I basically just took the jacket off of him and kept the glasses off and made him a left-hand shooter. Great twins. That was it. Great twins. See, my memory comes back to me. I just got to rock with it. So, great twins, great brand. You can see, though, he broke at the wrist, and I had to give him a different wrist. No, not the end of the world, but pretty devastating when it was like an $80 to $100 figure. But I made him the lefty, like he's the lefty in the thing. And yeah, I basically have the Terminator that kills John at the beginning of Dark Fate. So whatever. So they kill John off. So that's fine. I could live with that. Danny. That's what the girl's name was in Dark Fate. Danny. Thank you. Was it Danny? Not Danny Torres. Was it Danny Ramirez? I forget. But it's just Danny. And yeah, so John's gone, and then that was just so awesome. Linda Hamilton just kicked so much ass in Dark Fate. Like, oh man, what a great movie. So he kills John with that, and this is that custom. So pretty much. So then we have Dark Fate, which I know I agree with all the complaints. And it's jarring to kill off John Connor like that, even though they established it. But it's just, it was jarring to, again, with all the writing holes I just explained, to just kill him off like that. It's jarring to the audience, and they got the reception they deserved. I mean, not the, prejudice stuff. That's a little uncalled for, but I get that that people are upset that they did that so, without any setup and right in the beginning of the first 5 minutes of the movie. But after rewatching everything and kind of writing in, as I just did, into Dark Fate, and if you saw Dark Fate, give it a watch. It is worth the watch. It is a cool movie. The Rev 9 in that is so dope. What is it? Gabrielle, I forgot his last name. Lumanes? I'm forgetting his last name. But Luna, Gabrielle Luna. I'm like Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber. Slippy, Slappy, Swanson. What's on the brief? Samsonite, So thanks for sticking with me this long if you have. But Gabrielle Luna, who plays the Rev 9, did a bang-up job, and I love in that movie. I'm devastated we're not getting a Rev 9. I hope Mafex, please make a Rev 9. That would be so cool. Did such a good job. I thought it was cool Terminator. I love how they always up the Terminator concept every movie. I think how they change the game every movie, I think, is really cool. Yeah, I just got extra parts here, just like a Terminator hand. It just took off one of those to kind of make the one that's grabbing her. But yeah, so... and then, I liked Grace, and when you play the game, have you played the game? And did I already explain the game, how it ends? We're just like, we got the technology. It's just such a waste of your time. Don't play that game. I mean, just watch it get played. It's like the quintessential example of, it's not the ending, but the journey that matters. It's like, it's just, you play this long game, and it's a cool game, and then the ending is just like, well, you got the tech of, you know, the what they call the hybrid tech, and I just said it, and good job, and then it ends. You know, that's like, but then now we need the rest of the movie, because I thought it was great that Gabriel Luna in the movie, like, he kind of tried to reason, like, he didn't kill people unnecessarily, unlike the T800 and T1000s and TXs used to do in the other movies. Gabriel Luna's Rev 9 does not kill anybody other than the target or anyone who gets in his way. You know what I mean? So obviously he kills like the SWAT guys and the detention center at the, you know, middle end of the movie and stuff like that, but they're getting in his way. But like pedestrians and people just looking, he would just look at him, and he apologized for crushing the guy's shed when he fell off the plane. You know what I mean? Like, that's very courteous, you know, it's unlike a Terminator. And I felt like, and then at the end of the movie, he's like, give me the girl. I was like, you know, what? Like, they don't ask, they just go. Like, and he's like exchanging with the T800. And he's like, it came from a future like that. It failed, you know? And Gabriel's like, But, yeah, I just thought, like, explore that more. I think they could go with the Rev 9 future. I guess they're going back to T800 in the new animation, which I'm down with. They could do both. I love them both. I mean, I thought the Rev 9s in the future were just devastating. Like, that future scene was so cool. And Danny was like hurt, and it was just like commandos and randoms and Grace just fighting. And that was awesome. That's what we need. Get away from the time travel. Get away from the John Connor savior. You don't need a savior. Just have it be platoons and characters, and like in Aliens, like without Ripley, you know, just get us to love the soldiers and stuff like that, and then kill them off terribly one by one, you know what I mean? Or just make like, you know, like, just do something with it, build upon that. Don't rely on just Sarah Connor and, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger and stuff like that. Like, open it up, make more Terminator molds, like, just open it up, make a reprogrammed Rev 9 would be an awesome movie. Like, make Dark Fate a second one where he's like, you know, reprogrammed, or do it after the war, you know what I mean? Or do a back and forth if you have to do the time travel thing. But, you know, I mean, it's just Hollywood. I mean, all the good writers are gone, and I'm writing better things in my walk-in closet, or in the bathroom, or in my bedroom, and in the living room, you know what I mean? Like, and these people are getting paid millions and upon millions of dollars to write these things. But I'm just going to sit here, enjoy the figures, and just patiently wait as we get older and older for them to come out with figures, and you know what I mean? So I'm just going to make our own and do our own thing. But this is my cloth goods Terminator cloth goods Terminator collection. Maybe I'll get more T800s, but this is pretty much it. I switched off a NECA and going with just this kind of set. I will get more Mafex, and yeah, just see where it goes from there. I really hope this animation does well, knock on wood. And we get more figures, let's just get more figures from it. That's all we really want in the end, you know what I'm saying? So I hope you enjoyed watching, and until next time, if there is a next time, da-na-na.